And then my manager comes over. The managers were two brothers, iconic Italian brothers. Like, you just know they're making the nonni and poppy so proud by opening their little Italian deli. Like, are you guys money laundering? Yes or no? And if so, let me be involved in it. Let me have a piece of that pie. And one of the bald managers, they were two bald managers. They were two bald brothers. TBB, two bald brothers.
Wait, it's not that deep.
What is up, everybody? Put your hands up if you're having a good day. Put your hands up if you're having an okay day and you want it to be better. And put your hands up if you are having a bad day, but you're trying your best to like not get too in your head about it. Okay, so I think I covered everyone. Now whoever's listening with you, if your hands are up, they should be tickling you right at this moment. Hi, you guys. I'm really happy to be back doing Not That Deep. I don't have a full agenda of what I want to be talking about today, which is why I think it's kind of fun, because I was supposed to babysit tonight and they canceled on me. And saying someone canceled on you always sounds so malicious. Other stuff came up, so she let me know last night that she couldn't and wouldn't be needing me tonight. She gave me 24 hours notice, which is really nice, but a part of me was so excited to babysit because, I mean, it's just an ideal night because I'm basically doing what I would be doing if I was staying home, but I'm making money, and I really like making money. I like making money so much so that when I was in 4th grade, I said the actual quote, if something doesn't make me money, I don't do it. Now, that's to me a really bold thing to say in 4th grade when I had my entire life ahead of me and probably could have learned a few lessons about working hard for free and the value of gaining a skill set from working for free. But no, I had my mind on a pot of gold. And I think that quote came from when I was mowing my lawn, and my dad didn't pay me to mow my lawn, but mowing my lawn was a really like interesting time period in my life because mowing the lawn is for men. And that's not me being, I mean, that would not be sexist, but mowing the lawn is not a woman's job. Catching a mouse is not a woman's job. Warming up the car before school is not a woman's job. There are so many things that are a woman's job. A CEO, the president. A lot of things are a woman's job, but mowing the lawn is really up there. If we were on Family Feud and Steve Harvey had asked what are the top 5 things that are not a woman's job, I think that mowing the lawn would be up there. That's what I'm saying. I think that there's so much physical manual labor that goes into the lawn. And I also feel like a woman's, I might get myself in trouble here. Like, you don't ever go to someone's house and like when you're growing up, you never go to someone's house and like the mom is saying, check out the lawn. It's freshly mowed. I just mowed the lawn. Look at how gorgeous it is. No, that's the dad's job. The dad is going to tell you how amazing the lawn is. And then the mom is going to tell you how busy she's been like taking care of everybody and getting an hour of sleep. And the dad is well rested, but look at his lawn. I don't know. There's something there because, and again, that's not me being sexist. Like, I'm obviously half joking. There's joking in everything that I'm saying, but can everyone relate to the fact that I just can't even imagine going to someone's house and the mom being like, anyways, I know you're not hungry and I know that you don't want to sit down and I'm not going to offer you a glass of water, but check out this lawn. And then she had like beautifully manicured it. I just don't think that's a thing. I think that there's other things that they're worried about. I think you know what I mean. But a dad loves a freshly mowed lawn. And there's a lot of people that have an appreciation for a freshly mowed lawn. And I am one of them because I know what goes into it. And growing up, we didn't have somebody mowing the lawn for us. We didn't have one of those services. These upper class echelon folk in New Jersey. I mean, That would have been nice to hire someone to sit on a lawnmower and like ride around and whatnot. But we're physical people. They don't call us the physical Siegelsteins for nothing. In fact, they don't even call us that anyways. But my dad was doing it, and something about it always looked so fun to me and so peaceful. He's just pushing the lawnmower, got to clean it out. It smelled like grass. Like, it always looked great. Also, what responsibilities did I have as a fourth grader? Like, was I paying taxes? Was I paying a single bill? Was I paying attention to anything? No, I was updating my BBM status, and I was making sure that I had my homework done for homeroom. Like, what was there to worry about? I can get into that for a lot. Like, today is the day that we're going to probably worry the least for the rest of our lives. That's a really depressing thought. Or it's the same consensus as like, this is the youngest we'll ever be. And that really scares me. But also it's like, why are we talking like that? Just live your life. But I think it's like, oh, should we go to a Broadway show or should we go to bed? And it's like, well, this is the youngest we'll ever be. Let's go to the Broadway show. That's when it's a good example to say. But you don't need to say that for every single thing, because remember, young people need to rest and take care of themselves as well. But so I was like, Dad, can I please mow the lawn? And he said, sure. Like, what child is requesting to take manual labor off of your hands? I don't know why I didn't want to hang out with my friends or go into town, but mowing the lawn on a Sunday was so ideal. I'm literally the son that my dad never asked for. Some dads are like, oh, I always wanted a son. And I'm like, no, you can have me. I'll do everything that a son does, but like, not hate you. And he's like, oh, okay. I'm so down. Or like, I won't compete with you. I feel like a lot of sons compete with their dads. I'm making so many generalizations today. That's okay. So I'd mow the lawn. It ended up being a great workout. And it also was super like pleasing, because after you would mow the lawn, there would be a gorgeous design. Yes, in the manicured lawn, it would go from light wash to dark wash, and you could make zigzags. And then once the front was done, then you would move to the back. And there was something so pleasurable about mowing the lawn. And like, once you could see your final result, it felt good. It was like a big intrinsic reward. And so that, I mean, yeah, I didn't get paid to do that, but if I did get paid, I probably would have liked it even more. But I guess on this whole topic, like getting paid, working, I guess I would encourage all of the listeners right now to think about their earliest job. And not earliest job that they were assigned to do by their parents. Like, what was their earliest job of, I guess not that you were on, that you had a W-2, but something where you were like, I have a routine. I have to get to point A at X time, or I'm probably going to be fired and I get paid. Like, and what was your favorite job and why? Think about that, because I think a lot about what my favorite job was. And my favorite job was probably working at the Italian deli that I worked at. I had a bunch of jobs when I was growing up. I was a camp counselor. I worked at a deli. I was a hostess. What else did I do? I feel like I did other random shit. Always babysat. But working at the Italian deli was so much fun because like, I mean, how can you imagine working at an Italian deli and not think that it's going to be fun? I got so freaking fat when I was working at this deli because the people behind the counter, the other workers, were so friendly and would just eat their hearts out. And then they'd be like, Dana, do you want to eat a prosciutto gabagool soppressata sandwich? And it's like, yeah, don't mind if I do. I didn't bring lunch to the Italian deli. Can you imagine me in the corner eating a couscous kale pear apple salad while there's like steaming hot like chicken parmesan stuffed bread right next to me? Are you insane? So yeah, I would always eat everything, and then I would eat a lot. Because what are they going to say? No? Like, I'd be like, give me a stuffed shell. Give me a buffalo chicken egg roll. Give me crack chicken. This place had something that town goers actually called crack chicken because it tasted like crack. This deli was on the minds of every single civilian every single day. Oh, you need something catered? Go to this deli. Oh, someone died? Go to this deli. Oh, you're getting married? Go to the deli. I wish my bat mitzvah could have been catered by this freaking deli. I wouldn't have gotten a discount, but the food would have been really fantastic and people would have been talking more about how good the food was and not how the dress did not fit my boob area. That's what the people would have been talking about. Never forget this. Also, people would always come into the deli because it was in like the downtown area. So people would always come in, guys would come over, guys would come, and I'd always be like, do you think they're here because I work here? No, bitch. They're here for their crazy Kathy sandwich, which was like mozzarella with chicken and balsamic. Like, they're not here to flirt with you at the counter. Also, that was not your glory days, if I do say so. Trust me. But people would come in. I remember blushing. Like, I remember being I was never embarrassed to be working there. I was way too proud, honestly. But I remember people, like, you felt trapped. You felt like Shamu in SeaWorld because you were stuck behind this barrier and people would just come and talk to you. And then people, like, there were certain dads that I like wouldn't want to be talking to, and they would come over and chat me up, and there was no way to end conversation at the deli unless there was a to-go order ready. I'm hoping this is enjoyable for people to listen to because I'm enjoying myself, but I think if I've learned anything from doing this, it's you have to want it more than you want other people to care about it. Because eventually that will come, but you have to believe in it and you have to be consistent and you have to be passionate in order for anyone to ever get on board. If you're like, this sucks, I don't know, but I'm putting out a weekly episode, why would anyone listen? Meanwhile, I'm like, this is the best thing since sliced prosciutto, you know? So my friend Becca used to come to the deli and I would get so overwhelmed behind the counter. She would actually come and start bagging groceries for me. I was worried that they were going to end up hiring her. I'm like, stop actually being good. It's actually annoying. No, she was so good. I would be panicking and she would be sitting there keeping me company. And then she'd be like, oh, do you need help? And then I'd be like, no. And I would resist. And then she'd come and help me. And I'd be like, this is so much better. I used to work with a girl at the deli. Coworkers are so funny because think about your coworkers now. If you have them, you're probably in like a corporate setting. If not, you're in a setting where you are collaborating. And if you're not collaborating and you're not in a work setting, can you let me know what you're doing? Because I want to do it. Are you an individual podcaster? Because that sounds good. That sounds like a side hustle that I would want to be a part of. So coworkers at a deli, it's like when you're in high school and you have coworkers at an Italian deli, you never know what you're going to get. It was like every day you'd find out that a new person from high school was working there. And then the people that have been working there forever, it's like, whatever. Like, who is she that she gets to come in here? It almost was like a sorority. Like, we got kind of cliquey, but none of us were actually friends. Like, we felt so defensive over our territory, but actually couldn't give it less of a shit of the actual territory. Does that make sense? Like, I remember this one guy they hired, and like, he was always so sweaty. And I remember his eyes were always so big. And like, when I was younger, especially in high school, like, who really knew what drugs were in high school? Like, I was still ripping bongs out of a water bottle, and I thought that was as hardcore as my life was supposed to get. Like, I was snorting water vapor out of a Poland Spring water bottle, and I was like, it's just crazy how people can get addicted to this. Like, I didn't understand the velocity that other people went through to like do drugs. Anyways, this guy would come in, he would be so sweaty. And I remember, like, probably realistically twice, but it was 2 times more than he should have. He would like, I'll never forget. He had to like deliver this huge catering party. And like, when people got catering from this place, it wasn't like 2 sandwich platters. It was like 18 sandwich platters, 8 things of penne vodka, and, you know, a thing of like cannolis and sprinkle cookies. And I will never forget. This guy leaves with all of this catering. He didn't need anyone to help him. That's what he said. And then he comes back like 8 minutes later and he just shows up to the counter. And we're all like, one of the brothers comes over and he's like, how did you deliver that? How did that delivery go? And the guy literally goes, what delivery? He goes, the fucking delivery that you just went on. I'm not going to say the name. I still remember it. For the blah, blah, blah party. And he was like, I just went. And we're all just standing there like, it's kind of like when you're reading popcorn style in elementary school. And you go from like, if I'm reading and then I popcorn and then I popcorn someone else to read out loud, you don't want to call on the bad kid because it just, like the bad reader, because it just makes everyone's experience way less enjoyable. Like you kind of try to stick to the good readers to make everyone's experience a bit more prideful. Like there's nothing worse than when you would call on a kid and he like was talking super quiet or not keeping up with the pace. Meanwhile, that was probably the worst moment of his life. Meanwhile, I'm like, read better. But that's how I felt when this kid was like he was fully an adult, was getting like demoralized by the bald boss. Essentially what ended up happening was he literally got in his car in the parking lot with all the food in it, got out of the car and then came back in. Why? Because he was high as fuck and I'm pretty sure he was on Molly. Like he was so highly functioning as someone just doing so many drugs. And I remember I was like, yo, soy scared. Like I was so confused because I couldn't imagine being like even a little bit high at my job. Like you need to be on, and not everyone took the job as seriously as me, and I understand that, but working the Italian deli, not that deep. Like the amount of times I gave people the wrong amount of change. I remember one time I charged a guy $600 instead of $60. Like I had to manually enter on the numbers, and I put an extra zero. Sue me. He walks out. We have a great conversation. This is why personality is so important. If I was a bitch and then I overcharged him by like $540 roughly, he would have a conniption. But because we were being hilarious, he came back in and was like, Dana, I'm so sorry to do this. I think you overcharged me. And I was like, my bad, King. It was so fine. And then I ended up, just getting so fat. But there was another girl, and I'm not fat shaming myself. I felt good at the time. I looked fine, but when you're shoving your arteries, it's gonna show. You can't hide that vibe ever. There was this girl who worked there we went to high school together, but she was like actually out to get me. I never understood what her freaking problem was. And here's the thing, guys, like if I'm gonna openly talk shit about someone, I would happily say this to her face. Happily. I would go up to her like at our high school reunion next year. If she said hi to me, I would say hi back. Okay, that's not where I'm getting at. If she said, Dana, remember Mazzella's? That was so much fun. I would be like, was it? Because you did this to me and I'm about to tell you what she did. After this break. No, I'm just kidding. But if I did have a break, that's where it would be, because I would like build the hook and then there would be suspense. And then I would come back and you'd be like, what is the freaking story? Or you would skip it. But I work in advertising, so please don't tell me that you're skipping through my ads that I don't even have yet. So one time I was working at Mazzella's and this girl was working with me, and my friend's dad called Mazzella's to put in a pickup order. And I guess that this girl had picked up the phone and was being so difficult to place the order with and was being really just not nice over the phone, which was pretty on brand for her character. And okay, this is like turning into slander. I don't know her now. I'm sure she's lovely, but like back then, not nice. And so I'm like getting distracted because I'm nervous, but it's fine. It's fine. Everything will be okay. And so this dad comes in, and the thing about dads is they're not going to remember their kid's friend's name. Like, my dad did a pretty good job of it because he would always be like driving my friends around. He was like the go-to carpool guy, which is ironic because now he drives Lyft and Uber. Like, my guy was destined for rides, but similar to me mowing the lawn, he was doing it for free for so long. It's about time he's getting paid. I still never got paid for mowing the lawn, but you don't see me crabbing around about it. So my friend's dad, dads, they just forget a lot of names of like their daughter's best friends, but that's fine because they're funny. And they're mowing the lawn. So what would we do without them? And he comes in. He says, Dana, hey, what was that on the phone? I'm like, what? Because I wasn't manning phone duty. You either manning the register, or you were manning phone duty and baked goods. You did not do both at the same time, especially on a Saturday. Saturdays, you had to have at least 2 people behind the counter because it was such a madhouse. Imagine going into an Italian deli on a Saturday. Like, there's no telling what's going to happen, and you physically can't do that. It got so busy one time, well, specifically on Christmas Eve, we had to pull out 2 registers. Like, we only had 1 register the entire time. And then Christmas Eve comes around and we're setting up in the morning and the bald guy is like, I got another register. Like, where did you just get another register? And does this work? Like... And of course, the girl that was working with me, the mean one, like, she got the old register. And I was like, of course you did. Of course you did. Like, I have to learn a whole new system. Like, it's like teaching pre-calc when all you know is isosceles triangles. Like, it's physically impossible. So my friend's dad comes in. Dana, what was that on the phone? I say, I don't know what you're talking about. And he said, wait, okay, is this exactly how the story went? Probably not, guys. But you're getting the gist of it. And it's okay to lie if it makes a story better. You can't lie to like make you look better in a story, but I think if it makes the holistic story better, then it's okay to lie. Do you agree with that? Like, if you're lying to make the overall story funnier, I think that's okay. But if you're lying with the sole intention to make yourself look better, like, I think that's not okay. But what if you lying about your part and that makes you look better, but it also makes the story better? I don't know. At that point, make up a character and make them look better. Because then if like they find out that it's a lie and you're like, it's like, wait, so you didn't actually give to that charity? And it's like, no, but, and now you're screwed. Like, now you look stupid. Kids, save yourself from looking stupid and just embellish the story, not what you did, not your role in it. Easy peasy. So this is my version of that story and you'll get it. But so I said, I don't know what you're talking about. I've been manning the register all day. It's pretty clear that we have like 2 people on the phone. And the girl was in the bathroom at the time. And he was like, you haven't been on the phone all day? I said, no. He said, oh, well, I was talking to this girl on the phone. She said, she was making things pretty difficult. He was trying to put in like a big order for his family. She was being pretty nasty. And then he said, he asked for her name. And she said, Dana. Like, this man was complaining on the phone and she was being so rude to him. And instead of, when asked her name, saying her name, she said, Dana. Like, I'm going to pause for a moment of self-reflection because that is so mean. I don't even remember if I dressed her on it, because if that happened today, damn right I would be like, hey, so I heard that you did this. Do it again and I'll knock your fucking teeth out. That's what I would hope I would say back in the day. But like, can you imagine the audacity of just blaming it? And then it made me think, like, has she done this a million times before? Can you imagine the amount of times someone's calling because their chicken cutlets were not thin enough or crispy enough? And then she gives a horrid mean response. And then they say, what's your name? And she says, Dana. Like, I could have the worst reputation in town and I have no idea. And I would have no idea. I think people would still be nice to my face and then be like, that's the girl with crude behavior. I don't know. Whenever I'm on the phone with customer support now, I learned this from my mom. You always ask their name, because not in a threatening way. I think that when you're being asked your name, if you're doing something work related, if you're on the phone. This hasn't happened to me in a minute, but it used to when I worked at this other restaurant that I used to hostess at. If they would call and then I would kind of have like a weird moment with them and they asked me my name, I'd be like, fuck. Like, because they're obviously going to call back and then talk to the manager and then be like, well, I talked to Dana. Like, that's what I assume they're going to do is complain. When realistically, they're probably like, oh, well, I talked to Dana earlier and Dana said that we could have this table for 8 at this time. I mean, it's simply just holding people accountable, but why do we always assume it's for the worst? Probably because we might not be doing like the best job at our job. And then it kind of is, it is kind of, they're asking us to sabotage us, but I don't actually know. I think that jobs are funny, and this all got started because I started talking about babysitting, but I'm not babysitting tonight, so I'm really happy I didn't. But all in all, I hope that everyone had a good time reminiscing with me about one of my favorite jobs, and hopefully are reminiscing about your favorite job. Feel free to comment. Like, let's get involved on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. But regardless, I hope you guys have an amazing day, an amazing evening if you're listening to it at night. And you can put your hands down by now. I'm hoping that you already did. Whether it's a good day, a bad day, or a medium day. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time. You'll hear me next time. You will not see me. Bye.